Mate, indulge yourself, Warner. Get in on it.
Richie Lovett's complexion in that ad reminds me of the of a full moon.
Yeah. Or the abalone that they serve up at lunchtime. Big heat to round out this opening round. J.Marshall, who's been on fire through the last couple of comps, tap back into the kind of form that saw him save himself at this venue last season. And J.Bunch also out there in the lineup. It is going to be Jake.
Bells, spectacular, burly, ripped through some amazing turns. I mean, that says to me, just the tail release, the control, he's still feeling good.
You can see there's a bit of texture out there now. Let's see how J.Bunch deals with it. He wants no part of it. Kicks out of that first one. And we had Seth getting in. Oh, just got a little tangled up in the lip there. He's got a little caught, but so true. Yeah, and we've seen Seth just have some, you know, magic runs through events, give us some real highlights in competitive highlights, I think, from the last decade. He's been a part of one of the best heats. So that was the pipe final with Kelly. So I look forward to seeing him tap back into that kind of confidence as we see Bunch up. Now you'll see the pump, bit of squirt. Doesn't find a big section to ramp up on there, but he's really another surfer that's impressed this year without getting a massive result. He's had a quarterfinal result over in Abu Dhabi, the second stop, but other than that,
so much flair to his turns.
Yeah, huge fan. Here goes Jake though, and that rail turn straight into that deep, just absolutely banked bottom turn. Sets him up so nicely to mix things up on that impressive forehand. Scoring performances. He is one of the most improved Championship Tour competitors. Here he is again.
I'm going to bang on again here on that turn. Just a little wobbly off the bottom, but that bottom turn around the section, it was scooped. He throws it up. A couple of nice jags on the outside. That's just the foundation of this is a wonderful thing to watch. Square off the bottom, punches it vert. The front side vertical, take me back to the 90s, please. This one was a little wobbly, but scoops it, hooks it out of the top. And it was only wobbly because he was going that fast, but this, look how much water is fanging off his rails there, and he just punches it again into the lip, up and over.
By his recent standards, he never really timed the hit perfectly as he was coming out of it, but we saw in the last heat, you know, it was a different kind of lineup for these competitors to read as we move into the afternoon. And Jake still strung it together so well there. Feels like it's going to be the best wave of the heat so far.
Yeah.
He's gotten one step closer there. On the outside, 18.5 minutes to go. We got Seth up, using his priority here. Nice swoop, does well with the bump on the face. Now loading up, bit of lip to work with. Kicks the fins, nice little mix up in the variety, and again sets the tail free on the final section. Here comes the Hawaiian.
There it is, the wave he's been waiting for. The Seth and Doug show pretty much ruled this event last year. They were on. It was just as entertaining on land as it was in the water, but that was a nice ride from the Hawaiian. Yeah, he's on one now.
Yeah. Well, that's, you know, big motivation for Seth is outshining Doug's performance at each event. And he's done it here. Sorry, Doug. But a nice swoop. So Seth still back in third spot, but doesn't need a lot now to jump up into second position as we see Jake taking off again, trying to better a 5.67 here. Oh. Grinds through that first carve nicely, but the wave just fades away into deep water there, and he doesn't bother finishing it off. Absolute feather pillows, Vaughan.
Yeah. And meanwhile on the right, this was Seth Moniz, and the first turn was nice. Gets back a warble through that top turn, but gets a really strong finish.
Great moment there from Inside Surfing. Seth's magic performance under pressure, showing grit, showing guts, and getting glory, making the quarterfinals, and avoiding losing his grip on a Championship Tour spot. As we see out there in the lineup, well, he was miles away but it was a huge air from J.Bunch. Judges, they're so far away from this takeoff zone. J.Bunch hits the left. The wind is perfect. He takes flight, bones it out, big straight air, and just absolutely greases the landing. The lander, there's no easy heats on the tour, and as a rookie, you're going to face those title contenders. And Jackson's done a great job throughout the season of avoiding. So J.Marshall will want to convert on his next ride, get rid of that 5.67 and replace it with something bigger. Here he goes. Not a bad hit to get started. The wave stands up. He swings the tail. And that's been a real go-to move for him the past couple of seasons. Big nose pick, spins it into reverse.
Let's have a look at this thing. He gets off the bottom, accelerates through the first turn, loads up onto this section, hammers it, gets so compressed into the reverse, and that is spectacular surfing here from J.Marshall. And he has responded. Even that turn had something about it. Lots of energy, lots of power. The compression there, that is Taj Burrow every day of the week.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of TB in this guy sometimes. There's some jockeying going on here.
Yeah,
whoa.
Bottom of the priority order. Jake swoops on this first wave. Just floating that first section. This wave kind of stretching out. He's chasing down the scoring opportunities. Not going to get too much out of that one. Just a really impressive performance from Jake. But the hustle is on the outside here. J.Bunch trying to defend that second position. Drawing off the bottom, up into the lip. Swings the tail. Great release. That's all he's going to extract out of this ride. And will Seth get an opportunity with just 10 seconds to go to answer back after a 7.76?
He had a red hot crack, but unfortunately the waves just didn't quite stand up for him.
No, 10.34. He's got enough form if he can connect with better waves to turn in much better numbers than that. Bunch